Peace, family. What's good? It's your brother God Science. I'm up in here. Before I even start, I want to give a shout out to everybody out there that's been watching my videos, subscribing. I really appreciate y'all, man. You know, I got to give the love where the love is due. You know, really appreciate y'all, fam. Now, the dynamic duo is back at it again. And, they're going in the Moorish Science Temple. Now, I know a little bit about the Moorish Science Temple. I'm not an expert, so I'm not going to go into that. You know, I know about Noble Drew Ali. I have read the Quran 7. I know a couple brothers that are in the Moorish movement, and you know, I respect these brothers. I might disagree with the information, and I have no problems with young Pharaoh and Seti going in on their information and challenging the information. No problem with that. Just that, you know, Noble Drew Ali is dead, and he's not here to speak for himself. So I think you deserve a little respect. You know what I'm saying? Any of these elders, you know, they used what they had. It wasn't perfect. You know, we're in this time now with more information that at our disposal. You know, we learned more things, but they used what they had. He could have been a pimp or you know, a big drug kingpin, but the man was trying to uplift his people. We might not agree about the way he was doing it, but he's doing something positive, his intention. Now, what I want to talk about is when they brought up the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And I've been seeing this a lot in the community, where a lot of people will raise up Malcolm X and throw Honorable Elijah Muhammad along with Master Pharaoh Muhammad under the bus. And I just think, I don't understand how you can do that. Now, I'm not saying Malcolm X is not his own man. I'm not saying he didn't have his own ideas. He was a very powerful brother. I love Malcolm X. First time I heard him, he changed my life. I mean, this man has impacted a lot of people's lives. We never saw or heard a man that spoke so intelligently, so powerful, so fearless. You know, it made everybody like, who the hell is this dude? You know, so nothing but respect for Malcolm X. Nothing but respect. But the problem is, a lot of people focuses on the last years of his life when him and Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a falling out. And they forget about all the other years that these two was building together. That Honorable Elijah Muhammad was building up this brother. They forget all about that. And they just focusing on the last 2 years. But I'm going to play you a clip. And I just want to break down some things that Seti said, because, you know, I'm not disrespecting these brothers if they see this. This is no disrespect. I even heard Pharaoh. You know, I've been accused of being biased against Pharaoh. See, I'm a supporter of Pharaoh. I'm not a dick rider of no one. I support black media. I support these brothers because they could be doing worse. And I think their intention is to try to raise some of these people's minds. But when I disagree with something and I think they're being a little disrespectful or something, I'm going to say something. That doesn't mean I still don't respect them. And if they're real brothers like they say they are, if they keep it 100 or 1,000 and they're about scholarship, they will respect someone that challenges them respectfully. I'm not going in on their families and calling them names and all that shit. You're not going to get that here on my channel. What you're going to get is my perspective of, you know, just building on top of what they're saying. So this is not a tactic to get views. It's not a tactic to get, you know, put his name in my title to get more subscribers and likes. Fuck all that shit. I'll work for that. And if I never get it, then goddamn it, I never get it. At least I tried. But I'll work for the subscribers. I'll work for the likes. But I need to build on top of this because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a very good impact in my life. I have a lot of respect for that man. He's not perfect. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm not saying you have to even agree with the information that he has. I don't agree with some of the, you know, the information that his lessons. Some of the stuff I disagree with now as I've grown. But there's core things that I learned in the nation of gods and earth that will never change. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught discipline, a lot of discipline that we need in this in our community. But he wasn't perfect. But I just don't see how you uplift the student and throw the teacher under the bus. But here we go.
Never taught nothing
about that's
good
right.
about.
And so
I want
you don't see no. That's right. I was just about to say that too. Go ahead, do your thing.
Because when you really look at, once you study the Nation of Islam and what they teach, and you saw that one video where he said that Elijah Muhammad never taught nothing
about that's
good
right.
about Africa.
That's right.
Now, I think he's wrong on that. Honorable Elijah Muhammad did talk about Africa. My perspective is that he went past Africa. I think he was trying to show us that, yes, Africa, you can say majority of our ancestors are from Africa. But if you want to go past Africa, he was trying to show us that we was here from the beginning. And of course, nobody knows that beginning because nobody was here to record the first beginning of the first man, the first woman. I'm not going to go into is the black woman God, or is that, I'm going to leave that for another time, or the black man is God. I personally believe we're all gods. I don't want to get off the topic, but you have to ask yourself, what is God? What is God? You say the black woman is God, you say the black man is, well, what is God? It depends on what you call God. If God is the first living organism, the first human being, then okay. But if God is something else to you, then that won't line up. My point is, Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught about the beginning of the universe, the beginning, that mind that was here. He went past Africa. He even spoke about, and I don't want to, I might be wrong, and I don't want to say that this is a quote that he actually said. I'm paraphrasing things, but he talked about the whole planet being called Asia. It was together. We all know that the continents was together. They called, I think they call it Pangea or something like that, but the continents was together. And they called it, I think, I'm 100% sure on that, kind of rusty. I'm freestyling here. That he called it Asia. I mean, if you want to get real technical, that name Africa was given to that continent. That's a whole different video. My point is, he did not speak against Africa. He didn't speak against Africa. I just think he went a little farther, deeper into the beginning of the black man, the mind. But let's go.
Malcolm X, he always speaking highly of Africa.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? You are African. Who told you you wasn't an African? You understand? He made so many, because people got to don't know that Malcolm X's father and mother were Garveyites. His father was a Garveyite preacher. So
we knew that. But my question is, his father was a Garveyite. Do anybody remember Malcolm X's life before he met Honorable Elijah Muhammad? What was he doing? Was he speaking on Garveyites? Was he talking about going back to Africa? Nope, he wasn't. He was sleeping with white women, and this is no knock against Malcolm X. He was getting into shit in the streets, like majority of us before we got awoke. So obviously that didn't turn a switch on in him. That didn't inspire him. You think he probably knew about Islam? I mean, not the Nation of Islam, the one that y'all would say the real Islam, the Orthodox Islam. Is it a possibility that he knew about that religion? Did that change him? Did that make him, start not doing the things he were doing? No. But when he met Elijah Muhammad teachings, it turned something on in him and inspired him. It changed his life. And no matter what the hell you say, you can't take that away. the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a part in making Malcolm X. Did Malcolm X build on top of that and had his own ideas and his own genius? Of course. Never take that away from him. But don't take that. Don't do that. Don't try to say that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had nothing to do with Malcolm X. And oh yeah, he just told him this, but that he told him, man, come on, man. Come on. It was those lessons that put that fearlessness in Malcolm. Not saying he was always a tough brother, but let's keep going, man.
You know, they act like Malcolm X just got some knowledge when he met Elijah Muhammad. Yeah, he had went astray. Yeah, the nigga was in the street. Yeah, but he still had that foundation from his mother and father.
So why wasn't he following it? That's what I'm saying, Seti. He was still dating white women. He was still in the streets. He was still being unrighteous. And like I said, this is no knock against that brother, because what he became made up for all that shit he did. But my point is, it wasn't enough. It didn't change him. It didn't change his direction. But those lessons did. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad lessons did change him totally. Just like it changed a lot of people.
Who were Garveyites. So when you really listen to Malcolm X's political program, even his cultural program, it was above, just like Dr. John Henry Clark said, Malcolm X was teaching shit that was above and beyond anything that Elijah Muhammad had ever thought of.
Really? Elijah Muhammad had an empire. He wasn't teaching economics. He wasn't teaching us to do for self. What did Malcolm X teach that was so amazing that Elijah Muhammad didn't touch on? How the hell you know that Elijah Muhammad didn't put that in his mind? Those ideas. Were you there? Were you there in the rooms when they were meeting? Were you there when they were talking to each other? You see what I'm saying? Everything just to take away that man's influence on Malcolm X. They hate him so much. Like I said, the man ain't perfect, but they hate him so much, man. They want to take all that credit away. But he's not here to speak for himself. But the people that he touched, the people that he made better human beings, better people that put me on, I feel like it's my duty to speak up for him. He wasn't a perfect man. Who the fuck is? Who is, man? Who is? But he did more good for black people. Were you there in the 30s and 40s and saw the state that we was in? How to eat to live. Ain't nobody in there hell could tell me that if you follow that book step by step, your ass will live probably 100 plus. Look at brother Ali Muhammad. He's in his 40s. He look like a little baby. Look at Farrakhan. You trying to tell me Malcolm X? You ask people who were around Malcolm X, and they said he's one of the most upright, clean, right, one of the most righteous brothers they ever met. Clean and upright. Elijah Muhammad had nothing to do with that, bro. Nothing. He just told him a little bullshit. Don't get it.
Shit, you know what I'm saying? He was fighting to take the United States to the UN, which I can't, but some people say, well, America owned the UN. That's cool. But he the one that took it on that level to tell the world that, these motherfuckers was committing genocide on us.
So Elijah Muhammad never told the world what was happening to us in America. Malcolm X is the only person that did that. Really, Seti? Really, man? It's another thing to go on information and challenge it. Nothing wrong with that, man. But when you start reaching and saying shit that just don't even make no damn sense. I mean, let me give you something more better. He saw what was going to us so much that he came in and tried to save us, man. He tried to give us discipline. He tried to raise us up with those lessons. And the people saw what he was doing. That's why he had so much respect around the world. Because we started doing for ourselves. We started building our own businesses. We started holding our heads up. So Malcolm X is the only person that did that. Elijah Muhammad had nothing to do with that. He never told the white man to his face that he was a devil and told him why, because the way how he was treating us, and the world didn't see that. Come on, bro. I think Malcolm X will disagree with you. If Malcolm X was alive, he will disagree with you. Because the problem is, what you're doing is you're taking the whole time that these two brothers was together and you're pushing it down to the last 2-3 years, the last couple of years when they had that falling out. But what you have to remember is that time doesn't compare to the time when they wasn't falling out, when he was teaching him, when he was raising him and preparing him. It's more time there than when they had that falling out, bro. And that's the problem. Everybody keeps looking at that, but they're not looking at how he raised them up. Elijah Muhammad did that, bro. And I could sit here and name other great men. Elijah Muhammad did, bro.
Elijah Muhammad wouldn't have done no shit like that.
I'm about to play the video right now.
Play that shit.
That somebody made of Malcolm X. All right. It says it's like Malcolm X exposes Farrakhan. Now he technically wasn't talking about Farrakhan, but the video is so.
Yeah, I saw that.
Now, newsflash. Back then, Farrakhan didn't have the power that he has right now. He was an up and coming student. He didn't have no, oh my God. Let me just keep going. I just don't understand it, man. I don't understand why y'all trying to take the credit from this man. But y'all will raise up the person, the teacher. And to end the video, I'm not going to make it short. I'm just going to say this, man. You cannot, that's like me uplifting Seti and then talking shit about Dr. Ben. That's your master teacher, right? John Henry Clark. That's like me talking shit to them, but then uplifting Seti. They're the ones that built you up and made you, sparked you. You say that his dad was a Garveyite and his mom was a Garveyite and all this, but it obviously it wasn't enough. Nothing was enough till he heard them damn teachings from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and that turned on something in him. So he did have something. That's his spiritual father. And I think you don't have to agree with Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You don't have to like him, but respect him, man. Show just a little bit respect. Because if it wasn't for his ass, your ass probably wouldn't even be here on fucking YouTube. Because you claimed that you was a follower of Farrakhan. What the fuck were you doing before you met Farrakhan? Selling drugs? This is just allegedly. I don't know if you was. I'm not saying you was, brother, but you obviously wasn't in the conscious community or doing anything consciously before you started learning. It's like training, riding a bike with training wheels first. You're getting prepared to then ride the big bike. But who prepared you, bro? That was the John Henry Clark and Dr. Ben. Prepared you to be the person who you are. Malcolm X is the same way. But y'all having in your heads that Farrakhan and Honorable Elijah Muhammad came together and plotted to kill Malcolm X. Nobody was there. We was not there. All we can go by is by the people who were there, the videos that were left. You might agree that he did. I personally, I do not think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad set that order out. We know the U.S. government had a big ass part in that. They just used people around the Nation of Islam that was jealous of Malcolm, that wanted to take his place, that wanted to show probably Elijah Muhammad how much they loved him. What would he gain for doing that? If he talked about the truth and he talked about Allah and all this, he would come out okay. He would come out okay. Now, to end the video, I want to say this. If anybody haven't seen that video that's done by Dr. Ali Muhammad, y'all need to go see that. Because with all this talk on the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I haven't seen the young Pharaoh or Seti mention one point that Dr. Ali Muhammad brought up. Not one. They just ignore it. Like everything else. You can't call into their shows. Now, I know they have trolls and things like that. But it's like y'all don't scared to be challenged. Why y'all don't deal with that? Go deal with that. I can't even sit here and talk about all the points and the powerful points that Dr. Ali Muhammad brought up. But to end the video, my point is this. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad had something to do with creating Malcolm X who he is. They had a falling out. It wasn't good. It went bad. But before that, he taught that man, because nothing else reached him. Nothing else turned on that switch in him other than those lessons by the white man or the Jewish guy that y'all call Master Pharaoh Muhammad. But those lessons teaching the white man, a Jewish white man teaching the black man is God, and how to raise yourselves up and do for selves. Wow. Who gives a fuck if I take Elijah Muhammad's word for it? He said he's the only one that we wasn't there. We never met the Master Pharaoh Muhammad. He said he was half white and half black. I'll take his word for it. But let's just say he was a Jewish white man. He must as hell got something against his own race, because those lessons, those lessons that he brought destroys it. Not saying it's perfect, but it was what was needed at that time. It was what was needed at that time. Yes, we must evolve and move on, and that's my personal belief. There's new information, new age, but at that time, they used what they had. We might not agree with it, but that's what they did. So, to end the video, just stop doing it. Don't throw the teacher under the bus and raise up the student. And no matter how much times you try to discredit Elijah Muhammad from having anything to do with the brilliance of Malcolm X, you can't. It's written in stone in history, bro. Thank you guys for watching. What y'all think about it? Like I said, I just wanted to say my piece. Leave your comments. Like the video. If you don't like it, then, don't like it. Subscribe to my channel. If you do, I really appreciate that. I do have a new channel that's coming out called Black Fortress Productions, and this is gonna have to be with hip-hop. And I'm a music producer. I love hip-hop, and I think nobody's more passionate to hip-hop than me. I know I'm wrong on that, but that's how I feel. So that that channel will be more on hip-hop things. So blackfortress.com. I'm gonna leave the link in the video. But thank you guys for watching once again, and subscribing, and tell me what you think about this. Peace.